Thank you, Simon, for the kind introduction, and thank you for having me today here. So, for the past few years, we hear on a daily basis the word AI, and indeed, AI is changing the way how we work, how we search, how we analyze and interact with information. But as AI scales, trust becomes the differentiator. And the question is not anymore whether the AI model will generate an answer or summarize the text. The question is, can I trust the outcome? My name is Zornitsa Manolova, and I'm heading the data quality management and data science team at GLEIF. And today, for the next couple of minutes, I would like to explore why authoritative data is important, especially for the usage of AI, and how AI and GLEIF infrastructure can help and scale trust. Bangaranga. So I got a little bit excited about the latest European Song Contest, but yeah, Bangaranga is the moment when everything accelerates, and AI did this for data. We have more data, more speed, more generation, more possibilities to do things with data. But Bangaranga also means that energy can lead to chaos and also can lead to uncertainties. So how we can create this shift and from AI change the game, but actually trust changes the outcome. And I brought two examples on which we were working at GLEIF. And the first one is about relationships, and it's, I assume, also an interesting topic, the extraction of relationships between legal entities from annual reports. And yeah, this task, the extraction of ownerships information in a structured format from annual reports, it is not a rocket science anymore. However, it is also not a simple task. The reality is that the formats vary, also definitions differ across jurisdictions, language can be ambiguous, and relationships are often hidden in unstructured text. And this is exactly where AI can help. And I'm sure that many of you sitting in this room are also going towards this idea, and maybe you have already implemented a solution. However, when we think and talk about entity data, and of course everything starts with a name, then we can extract the relationships, we can extract information about controls, who controls whom, and all that kind of information, although this could be buried in very diverse data information. The differentiation is when this information becomes more beneficial as an outcome is when we are able to connect it back to the entity, for example, of course, also to the LEI of the entity and to the authoritative source. So here's an example. I hope the video works. So this is just a screen capture of a short demo that we prepared. We have developed a system where you can upload a PDF report, and the system ingests the documents, highlights the relevant text about the subsidiaries of the parent entity, and for this we have also developed, of course, a prompt. You don't see the prompt here, it is working in the backend, and I'll come back to this in a second. And this is a very powerful tool to identify the subsidiaries within the report, But at the end, this is not the end of the process. You need a human being to verify and look at the data, whether it has been correctly extracted, at least as of today. And if you would like to scale this process, it would become a little bit difficult because, as I said, it is still very labor intense. However, this way works, and we also used this technology and created a proof of concept. We call it the transparency fabric, and this is demonstration of how we used AI to enrich relationships into a connected graph. We combined the LEI data with beneficial ownership information and additional authoritative references. And the goal was not only to visualize the graph, but also to make it traceable. So users can trace and inspect the sources where the information comes from. And this is basically the way how trust starts to become operational. So this is a small working demo. You can go to transparencyfabric.gleif.org and you can explore yourself. There are 3 buttons you can click. But back to the scalability. If we want to, this is just one network. If you want to scale this, we cannot rely on manual prompting to extract the information. There will be a lot of trial and error, and or just going and choosing every time a larger model. So we need a way to systematically improve the instruction we give to the model, to the system, so the prompt basically, and we need to be able to measure whether there is an actual improvement. And this brings me to GEPA. So GEPA allows us to have a systematic approach. GEPA stands for Genetic Pareto Reflective Prompt Evolution. And instead of manually guessing what would be a better question for the model, it uses genetic search and iterative evaluation, and at the end with Pareto optimization. So the important point is here we need, of course, some kind of a labeled data, and then we will be also able to measure the outcomes. So the prompt improvements become less experimental and more evidence-based. So we used GEPA on LEI data, the structured part of the LEI data, the relationship data, and roughly 700 annual reports that are the source for the relationships. And what you see is on the left side, it is the initial prompt, so you can see already the size change and the optimized prompt. But we were also able to measure an improvement in the performance by with a mean F1 improvement by of 0.165. But even more interesting, I find the fact that a smaller and cheaper model was able to perform better at the end after the optimization. And this is the important insight here, that high quality data and structured systematic optimization can improve the outcome, and you don't always need to go for a larger model. And yeah, shortly said, as a takeaway for everyone, stop guessing the better prompts. If you have available data, use it to evolve the prompts, and of course LEI, it's open source and one option to choose. So this was the first example. My second example is about search, and as mentioned at the beginning, search has evolved over the years. in the past, traditional search was key-based. And I remember the years before, there are also some reserved terms, how you can optimize your Google search. Today, AI led to more contextual, conversational, agentic search. And the users, they expect direct answers, also the reasoning, the sourcing, and actually also actionable insights. So the challenge is, how do we ensure that the answers are still trustworthy? And we see three different challenges here. First is the growing complexity in the ecosystem. Second is the fragmented accessibility across different APIs, databases, documents, websites, you name it. And third is the AI trust paradox. We run a very short one-question survey, basically, where users indicated that they trust AI-generated answers when they are grounded in authoritative sources. And there is a very transparent attribution to the source. So trust must become, in a way, machine readable and scalable. And at GLEIF, we worked on exactly this, on creating an AI search to transform the fragmented data into more actionable intelligence. And what you see here is also a short screen capture on what we have built. So this is available on ai.gleif.org. We created model context protocols and connected different data sources. So the website of GLEIF, the documents which are available there, but also direct connection to GLEIF API, and also to the business statistics that are used in the quarterly reports. So in this tool, you can decide which of the different sources you can use, or you can just let the solution decide on which tools or which combination of tools would be best for your question you have. And the architecture of this is, I would say, state-of-the-art concept. We have the chat interface, or the user interface. We have the orchestration layer that decides on which of the MCP servers should connect to, and then we have the different connectors. So this is what is currently available, these four, but we are aiming for additional ones, like the data quality statistics and other available information that is somewhere there on GLEIF resources. And however, these connectors are not only available on the GLEIF AI search page. We make them available for all users. So again, you can go on the page and see how to connect them to the AI solutions you have in place in your organizations. So it doesn't matter whether it is ChatGPT, Mistral, or Claude, or something else. You can use these connectors and then directly query the LEI data, the statistics from your tool of choice. And also here the takeaway, do not let AI guess, connect it to trusted sources like the LEI data, and then AI systems will become more reliable when they are grounded in authoritative references. And with this, thank you for your attention, and I wish you a lot of bangaranga with less chaos and more trust for your AI project. I don't know whether there's time for questions.
Thank you very much, Zornitsa, for a wonderful presentation and what seems to be some very useful and powerful innovations. Does anybody have any questions for Zornitsa? A number, okay.
Thank you. Thank you for the great presentation, inspiring. Question, what is your scope? Is it only companies or organizations with published annual reports, or is your scope, for example, also going through SMEs?
Yeah, so what we are doing is just demonstration of what the possibilities are. We are not looking into creating a solution that we monetize or something like this. And as we are also limited to the current definitions of the global LI system, and this applies only for accounting consolidating parent and child relationships, we look right now for this specifically. But the approach, the GEPA that I presented, you can take it and apply it everywhere. And again, happy to share more afterwards if you're interested. Over there.
Can I ask a little follow-up? Thank you very much for a great presentation. But to Paul's point, as you know much better than I do, many corporates have a pretty poor handle on all of their subsidiaries. It's often not up to date. That whole process is complicated. And that in itself must constrain the manner in which companies can update their level 2 data. Mm-hmm. So is your hope, is your vision for this that either companies use a tool that you provide, or that regulators ask companies to use these tools in order to provide better level 2 data? Is that the idea? Is that the vision?
Okay. So this was initiated basically, as you know, the LEI data is corroborated against an authoritative source. So the LEI issuing organizations, I need to go a little bit back to where it comes from. The LEI issuing organizations, they need to verify the information provided by the legal entities that this basically mirrors the real world. And looking into 200 pages report, finding the exact place where the relationship between two organizations are noted, it's very labor intense.
So the LOUs can use this framework for their validation process. I got you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. My question or suggestion would be, in the chat you've shown us, I think it would be a good idea if, after answering a question that can be gotten through the API, the answer also included an answer that says, if you want to do the same question on other entities, here that you can use the API. Because I think the chatbot, of course, is working well, but it's inefficient. You know, it's costly for you. It's a bit more slow than if you use the API. So I think it would be good that the chat teaches about the API and the fact that you can do that even more efficiently or on similar questions, right?
Very, very good point. So our idea is actually to move the users to use and connect the connectors, because our AI chatbot has certain limitations. Yeah, we cannot compete with ChatGPTs and Mistral and that kind of stuff. There you have more possibilities, and there you can build exactly the solution you're talking about using the API. We at GLEIF, we are a non-for-profit organization. We need to have and put some limitation on the, for example, the length of the string that you insert as a question and that you have as a response. Therefore, we needed to put some limitation, and we didn't go this way deeper. But yeah, excellent suggestion.